In this video, I will explain how you can integrate S3 bucket with the NextJS front-end application. So here are the steps that you need to take to create the S3 bucket and then access it from the NextJS. First of all, you will need to create the AWS account. The next thing is create S3 bucket in AWS. So to create this, you have to just go to S3 service. When you sign in to AWS, you can search over here S3 and then just click over here. You will be taken to the S3 page. From there, you can create the bucket. So if you click on buckets, you can create a bucket over here. Bucket is just like it's kind of a drive, and on that drive you can store folders, files, etc. So I have created here one bucket, soft host bucket, and you can also select the region, and then you can restrict the access. So if you don't want the public to access these files from this bucket, you can restrict that as well. So that is where you have to create the S3 buckets in this step. Next thing is you have to, once you create the S3 bucket, you can put the files in that. So for example, if I click here, you can see that I have put one file over here. You can also create a folder and upload files over here. And then once the files are there, you can access them through the NextJS application. So next thing is you have to install this SDK, AWS SDK. So using this command npm install AWS SDK, and uploading files, we've already seen how to do that. Next thing is write below code to access assets. Okay, now in the NextJS API, this is how you can write the code. So AWS is equal to require AWS SDK, and here AWS config.update. So you have to configure AWS to access this bucket. Now to access the bucket file, so you have to use this access key ID and secret access key and region as well. So how to create this access key ID and secret access key, I will come back to this later. Let us first understand this code. So here we are creating the S3 instance, and then in this parameters object we are specifying, okay, I want to access the file from this bucket, and this is the file name, and this is the expiry. That means to access the files, you can create the signed URL for that particular asset. So here you can specify the expiration time in seconds. So what happens is that you will get a URL after this code executes, and for example here you can see that we are calling s3.getSigned URL, and we are passing this parameters. So what is happening here is that we will get this URL to access this particular file, and that is a signed URL. What it means is that it is going to expire after 120 seconds because we have specified 120 over there. Based upon your requirement, you can change this expiry, and once you get this signed URL, you can just use any HTTP library to access that resource. That's it. Now let's come back to this particular configuration, how to create this access key ID and secret access key. So basically you can use the IAM, Identity Access Management service. This is a specific service from the AWS which you can use to create a user, IAM user, and then once the user is created, you can attach the policy to that particular user. So for each user you can have the permission, so you can create a new permission by clicking here. So right now I created one permission, and what I've done is that I've given access to S3. Okay, and that's how you can create the access key and the secret key. So when you do this processing, you will get these values for the access key ID and secret access key. That's it. That's all. That's how you can use this S3 service from the AWS to store all types of files. Basically, most of the time what kind of data you can store is images, photos, videos. And not just that one, you can also put any kind of files, like it can be binary, text files, it can be anything. So if you have more questions, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.